On this episode, we give our WWE Roadblock predictions, talk about Zayn versus Owens, WrestleMania returning to Florida, Y2AJ being done, Lana and Brie is still a thing, and more now on Byte That. Welcome everybody, you are listening to episode 133 of Byte That's weekly wrestling podcast, the place where we break down the latest happenings inside of the World Wrestling Entertainment. Thanks for tuning in and checking out the show. You know the deal, we are available on your tablet, on your phone, on your life every single Tuesday night on iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, ByteThat.com. And if you want to see us on video, if you need Keith visually, head on over to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/ByteThatCast. And also, if you want to support us, simply drop an iTunes review. Whether you like us or you love us, it goes a long way into our hearts. My name is Juan Velas. I hail from San Juan, Puerto Rico, and joining me is at 100% Keith M. Poshik from Winnipeg, Manitoba, and at about 40 to 30%, Mr. Ryan McNulty from Boston, Mass. Ryan,
yes.
How are you? Are you okay?
I had 3 wisdom teeth taken out this past Friday. We're recording on a Tuesday. I'm still struggling, man, but I'm here, and that's what matters.
Real talk for a second here. Ryan, you are a greater man than I. Because if it was me in that situation, I probably would have ducked out.
It's a bit of a struggle, but
it's because that actually happened.
There was proof.
Yeah. It's weird, dude. My tongue is numb because I think I had the wisdom teeth in there so long it messed up some nerve endings. So, it's going to take a little while for that to come back. But, I'm still here. And apparently, this is legit because I went under anesthesia for this. So, my roommate took me. And when I was coming out of it, there's a part I totally don't remember. But apparently, I said 2 things of note. One, that I felt like I was in the movie Blade Runner, which I've never seen, so I don't know how I'm supposed to know that. And I also apparently said, now probably jokingly, but can't confirm, that John Cena is the greatest wrestler of all time.
What? Wow.
Yes. So
anesthesia does that to a man.
Yeah.
When I got my wisdom teeth taken out when I was 17, I had it so much worse because I got the gas. I remember it was about 11 o'clock in the morning. And then all I remember is waking up at 8 o'clock at night covered in blood in my bed. And that was that's how my wisdom teeth experience went. And apparently I was trying to pick fights with people in the hospital going out. Was that your wisdom teeth, or was that just a dark period of your life? No, that was my wisdom teeth.
Okay,
and
just
probably a dark period in my life, but they weren't related.
You were just taking advantage of the situation. It's the wisdom teeth, but I'm still going to punch you in the face.
Exactly.
Ryan, just at some point, you got to do the Rock's intro, or outro. If you smell...
Yeah, I can't, dude.
No.
I can't do anything. It sucks. I can't even eat pizza, man.
Okay, but some lucky lady's going to be happy about that numb tongue.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, it's understandable if Mr. McNulty is on the lesser side of the conversation this episode, but he's still here. We still love him. That being said, this is the go-home show to not WrestleMania, but WWE Roadblock. We also have a ton to talk about WrestleMania, not just this year's, but next year's. It's going to be at Orlando, Florida. Now, guys, as this was a go-home show to a special event, not WrestleMania or a traditional pay-per-view, did you guys think that this did a good job of delivering excitement? Are you guys looking forward to Roadblock?
No, honestly, not really. I don't know. I'm still kind of hung up on the whole I don't think Roadblock should exist thing, because all of the hype that goes towards Roadblock still feels like it takes away from WrestleMania, at least in my mind.
Okay, quick question then. Sorry to cut you off there, but then is it because of that, or can you see that there was at least good buildup, or is that thought where you think that buildup should go to WrestleMania? Is that preventing you from enjoying Roadblock?
Well, for the Roadblock buildup, it's basically buildup for a match, singular, and that's really all that any form of excitement for Roadblock. That's how I feel. the Dean Ambrose versus Triple H match will be good, but beyond that, I'm just kind of like, whatever. It's Roadblock. WrestleMania is in a few weeks. That's where my mind is.
It's a cool idea, and I think it's going to be an exciting show, and I'm really looking forward to Ambrose versus Triple H. But at the end of the day, because we're so close to WrestleMania, there's only so many things that they can do. They have to save a lot of the big Impact stuff for then.
Yeah, I agree. I thought that this Raw, though, had a tremendous build-up, not just for this, but for WrestleMania as a whole, because, the first topic is going to be about Kevin Owens. So Kevin Owens, we've been wondering, is he going to have a multi-man match at WrestleMania or something? We had a little bit of a special detail where he was going to powerbomb Neville on Raw, much like he powerbombed Sami Zayn on NXT to get him out of action. And then we get Sami Zayn coming out. Now, this was something that a couple of people rumored. As a matter of fact, there is this Falcon Arrow on the Squirt Circle subreddit. I don't know if you guys know the deal about him.
Yes, he comes from the long line of Dolphin and Mets fans.
Yeah. So the people that don't know, subreddits are basically different threads on this website, reddit.com. There's a Squared Circle one, which we bring up every now and then. Now, there's this source.
Every episode.
Yeah, pretty much every episode. Now, there's a source called Falcon's Arrow. And last Raw, the Raw where Shane McMahon came out first, I should say, he sent out a post saying, you want to tune in tonight.
Big things are going to happen, yeah.
Yeah. And now he did the exact same thing for this episode of Raw, and we got Sami Zayn. So he's 2 for 2. He's been pretty accurate. People always wonder, is he an insider? Is he a producer in the show? Is he an upset superstar? Whatever the case, if he posts something, you better look forward to the show, or at least a certain segment. Now, guys, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, we don't know if this is going to be happening at WrestleMania as a one-on-one match or something. We actually got a question from Barnables about that. Is it going to be a triple threat between Neville, Owens, and Zayn? What do you guys think about this? And what is your excitement level about Sami Zayn now being in the main roster?
I personally don't, or I hope that this doesn't happen as a one-on-one match at WrestleMania. I feel like it's too soon. This whole Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn thing is something you can really... you can play the long game with this one. You can milk it out and maybe even be at next year's WrestleMania. And maybe even after that, really. If you do it now, you're kind of prematurely blowing the payoff that could happen with that. So if they are going to fight at WrestleMania, I do hope it is in some form of multi-man match where that third person ends up being the one getting pinned or getting the win. I don't want to see Kevin Owens beat Sami Zayn or Sami Zayn beat Kevin Owens really in that big environment. But Sami Zayn being on the main roster, that being said, is freaking awesome. I'm surprised it's not happening the night after WrestleMania. I figured that was going to be the big debut during that show. Because he's still going to be
at NXT Dallas.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there was that weird period where Kevin Owens was in that middle ground, right? So
night after night, 2 nights in a row, though, kind of crazy.
Yeah, but yeah, no, it's cool. I'm very excited to see Sami Zayn on the main roster.
Yeah, it's a long time coming for Sami Zayn, who was actually supposed to debut, I believe, when Kevin Owens debuted, but because he got hurt, he was supposed to be called up. And that all got delayed because of that injury that he had. So he's finally back. It is strange that he's making a debut, a traditional debut, so close to WrestleMania when those things are saved for after. But it's still exciting. I don't like Keith said, I'm probably not expecting a one-on-one match, and that's okay.
Yeah, I agree completely. They have such a huge amount of potential for this. These are 2 guys that have natural chemistry because they've known each other and wrestled each other for over a decade. It is unfortunate how this is happening because it sort of didn't make sense that Sammy got injured in this whole storyline with Owens, right? Owens goes to the main roster, but Sami Zayn comes back, and it's kind of yeah, that guy beat me up. He's in the main roster. So they had to, sooner rather than later, finally have this feud happen because otherwise it's not much of a revenge feud. I do like the fact that Chicago is the best crowd to debut him at. Chicago is always a great crowd, a smarky crowd, so they know the NXT guys, the independent guys, so it's a good way to get people talking. Michael Cole did a great job of just building up the rivalry that's unfolding between them, building up Sami Zayn as a former NXT champion. I'm wondering what's going to be happening here, but I mean, this is all we can really talk about right now because nothing else has happened. But Sami, welcome to the main roster, and you're going to have one hell of a WrestleMania weekend. That's all I can say.
No kidding.
Yeah. Now, we go from a marvelous thing to further storyline development. A storyline that I know Keith, his smile right now is just, it shows you how much he loves this. It is Lana versus Brie Bella. Now, Brie had a match on Raw against Summer Rae. Summer Rae now has 2 wins on Raw ever since she's becoming more of just an active, competitive diva. No longer a manager role or anything like that. Now, during the match, Lana comes out. Summer Rae gets the roll-up. Lana delivers the X Factor to Brie Bella, the greatest move in professional wrestling history, courtesy of Tony Schiavone. Lana, and this confused me.
Didn't Brie used to do the X Factor too?
That's her finisher. Yeah, the whole thing is that she copied Brie Bella's finisher. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Shows how much attention I paid to this.
But I don't know what was happening here because first of all, Lana came out and she was barefoot for that, which if you're going to go out and do some wrestling move, at least wear something, right? It would seem weird. And her outfit, does Lana think she's still with Dolph Ziggler or something?
I was saying that. It looked like her old Ziggler gear. So weird. Yeah, I guess she doesn't have wrestling boots because she always, anytime she's gotten into a physical confrontation, the shoes fly off and Is it like vintage Rusev or something? Yeah, maybe it's a callback.
Maybe, but I mean, try wrestling in heels. I'm sure you would kill yourself.
Yeah, it's basically that. She doesn't have boots.
It would make for a hell of a big boot.
It's probably a safety hazard.
Exactly. But I'm left asking the same question I asked last week. Why? Why?
I mean, it's difficult to answer. We officially have the Triple Threat Divas title match, so when it comes to Divas matches that are going to be great, that's basically guaranteed. So I don't know if maybe this is going to turn into the 8-man Diva tag team match that always seems to happen at some point during a WrestleMania or like a Survivor Series. That's really the only way I see this happening because I don't think this is going to be shoehorned into Roadblock. Maybe it is. I don't know. But I mean, as we're going to see with the Roadblock card, that show is super weird because it's basically a televised house show. And I don't know where that match fits into WrestleMania.
It seems like it's a little too insignificant for it. I more expect it to be on Roadblock. I mean, you can't have that match taking up a precious spot on WrestleMania. I mean, I know WrestleMania is 18 hours long, but still, they have a hard enough time fitting as many matches as they do.
I honestly don't think this match deserves to fill a block on Superstars, let alone WrestleMania.
Yeah, it's difficult because with Brie Bella, she's going out. She's been open about it in interviews, so it's not this whole thing of, well, is she going to retire or not? It's going to happen. So her last feud is with a diva that hasn't wrestled before, that's become very lukewarm in the main roster. 1 week she has the business suit.
It's more for Lana than it is for Brie, I think. And it's seen as Brie's the established diva.
Yeah.
Yeah, the established diva. Just want to let that sink in. To kind of get Lana into the whole wrestling side. This is the big thing for Lana to finally become an actual wrestler.
It just feels so weird because we finally have the Divas division, right? With Sasha, Charlotte, Becky at some point, probably Bayley. You have even Summer Rae. They have enough divas that are great so that they can have the top 3 and complement them with the rest. So Brie and Lana are sort of they feel like the old pool of divas where it's yeah, you kind of wrestle,
and there's the nail right there on the head. If this was happening a year ago, I think it would be fine. It'd be okay, I guess Lana's wrestling, but because you have all of these NXT divas coming up and you have your Paiges, you have your Natalias, you have your Summer Raes, all of those people that just complement that, it's just completely outclassed at this point.
Yeah. So another thing that possibly something is unfolding on SmackDown. Keep in mind, we do record on a Tuesday night as SmackDown is being taped, so we don't know what's progressing. Although, just in case, we have the wrestling dirt sheets on standby. Now, another backstage segment that occurred on Raw. that may be teasing a match for WrestleMania is Kalisto. So Ryback, he's become a simpler. Just a quick thing. I was actually streaming some 2K16 before.
That's a weird place to stop.
Yeah,
but
but just for context, I was playing 2K16 on Twitch before this, and one of the loading screens is Ryback, right? And I was just like, he looked ridiculous. Like, he had the belt and then the t-shirt over the singlet, and everything was a different color. Like, he became a joke. Physically, he looked like a joke, even though he's a menacing force. So it reminded me, just the greatest thing they've done is to just give him the black trunks. I get it. Goldberg chants, they're going to happen regardless, because they've happened regardless.
They're better than RVD chants.
Exactly. At least he's more similar to one than the other. But now he seems to be full on heel, just talking about Kalisto. We've seen this stuff.
Does he seem to be full on heel? Because I think it's questionable. I mean, that promo,
it all depends what sentence he was in during that promo.
That was such a mess. It was just like, I respect you, but I don't like you. Yeah,
Ryan.
But wait,
how dare
I respect you. Kalisto's a face. Ryback shows up acting like a heel. Then he goes out and faced the social outcasts who are heels, and he's supposed to be the face. The social outcasts, are we supposed to like them? I mean, I like Bo Dallas. He's pretty funny, but
it's the reality era, Ryan.
I don't think they're supposed to be likable, social outcasts. I think they're supposed to be purposely annoying.
They fall under the same category as the New Day, really, where they're heels on paper, but everybody likes them.
Pretty much.
I feel like they're heels on paper and everybody doesn't like them. That's the difference between them and the New Day.
I think it's because people know the writing on the wall with the social outcast. Their ceiling is astronomically slow. We got the Ryback reunion technically in that match with Kurt.
Did you say their ceiling was slow or low?
Yeah, low.
Both. It could be both.
How is the ceiling slow? Is it like something like it's
maybe
like Indiana Jones with the spikes and it's coming down?
Yeah, there's
slowly?
a bunch of spikes, and it's only a matter of time before Adam Rose.
That totally works though, because it's only going to go down and down and down and down for them.
Oh man, this got really carried away now. But is there a possibility that this match may happen? Honestly, I'm kind of okay with it. I sent out a tweet last night during Raw, and some people were kind of like, no. But these two had a really good match on SmackDown during that tournament to crown a new champion or whatever it was. And I think it would be a pretty good match for them.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah. Especially because it looks like the IC title's the one getting the multi-man match probably. So I would like to see a singles match for the other mid-card title.
Plus, I think people like Ryback, like The Big Show, I still even say Braun Strowman, are perfect opponents for Kalisto. Just play the whole David versus Goliath angle right to death, and then build Kalisto with that. So, yeah, it's a good match.
Also, there's a chance JoJo might be slightly taller than Kalisto.
Oh, that's a fact, probably. I mean, Kalisto's supposed to be shorter than Ray, and Ray is actually around 5'3" to 5'4". Because I was easily a good 3 to 4 inches taller than Ray when I went to a show. And if Kalisto is shorter than that, then wow. Crazy stuff, right?
It's unreal. I mean, that's how good you have to, that's how good he is that he made it to WWE, being that freaking short.
Yeah. I mean, it goes to show a lot of things like that, but when you see him live, they definitely, that movie magic sort of does go away. You see the guys aren't as tall as you think, although Big Show, when you see him live, it's like, holy crap, just, man, you are tall.
Big man. One might call him a Big Show.
I'm just going to go to the next topic on the list here. It says, Golden Truth segment. Do you enjoy this type of comedy? Too long, 2 questions, 3 people on the podcast. Now, guys, Golden Truth is still not a thing.
This one made me laugh. I'll admit it. This one made me laugh.
Yeah, no, it was a very nice change of pace from the rest of the show, but is it too long? I'm starting to feel like yes. Like, where does the payoff happen in this at this point? Do they just become a tag team? Do they become a tag team?
They're going to beat the New Day, man.
No.
Yes.
Those young whippersnappers are going to dethrone the New Day.
All the smarks, man, they want to talk about slow burn. This is like the slowest burn ever. And everyone's bitching about it. All right?
I think
you know why? You know what, Ryan? You have a very strong point there, and I am going to just shut up now because Well played, sir.
No, it's completely true. He's completely right about that. It's a slow burn. It's working. I think the reason a lot of people are hesitant about it is because the tag team scene is not what it was about a year and a half ago. Because now it's basically the New Day. And, there's the Social Outcasts. Now the Dudley Boys are heels, but they're sort of just somewhere around there. PTP is no longer a thing. So, okay, Golden Truth pairs up.
They're like super not a thing. But yeah, there's the Usos.
So how many tag teams is that people actually react to? So it's like, finally, after this long thing, Golden Truth becomes a thing, and they maybe dethrone the New Day. Then what? There's not a huge scene now.
No, it's true. The strength of the tag division is like not who's champion, but how many teams are relevant at one particular time. You need multiple teams all being super relevant.
Now, this is just food for thought without really going into details here. Keep in mind, out of that batch that went from New Japan Pro Wrestling to WWE, there's AJ Styles, Shinsuke Nakamura. Now, there are still 2 other guys that have been signed that have not debuted. We're talking about the tag team scene. We're seeing that AJ is going to go on his own now, so we're going to get to that next. So who knows? Maybe after WrestleMania, we could be seeing some Carl Anderson and Doc Gallows, or maybe a Luke Gallows. I don't know if they're going to change their names. It would be weird, considering even Austin Aries, who's now in NXT, has his just full-out name.
I think that we will be seeing a new tag team very soon, but we will talk about that a little more in the Roadblock predictions.
Yes, sir. Whoa, wait, what? We will?
Yeah.
Huh,
fine.
Okay.
Do you want me to just say it?
No. Let's wait for it. Like that is the teaser, man. Okay, Y2AJ.
Yes.
Did any of you guys buy that terrible t-shirt?
No, because I was right with what I said last week. Shocking, it happened.
Even if they were a team for months, I probably wouldn't have bought the t-shirt, but that's besides the point. I feel bad for anyone who did.
No, I don't though, because number one, come on. If you're gonna buy a Y2AJ shirt, you should know. And even if you didn't, hey, it's a collector's item now. It's gonna be a real good Reddit post. Hey, remember this T-shirt in a couple of months? It'll be great.
That's gonna go for millions of dollars.
You can put it up on Jammer.
Hey, hey, if anybody has that, upload it to Jammer, send us a tweet, and we will give you a shout out because you need it. You spent some
you deserve it.
Yeah,
money.
you already got a good story. Hey, I bought this, and the day it came in the mail, the tag team broke up.
You caused them to break up. Whoever bought that, you were directly responsible for this. Now, that was an amazing match on Raw. One of the best tag team matches that we've had in a very long time. Because we always talk about this. Raw always has at least one good match, right? But generally speaking, it's the usual shtick. But this match had multiple great sequences. It had the New Day winning clean, which I did not think was going to happen. And I just love the setup. The crowd, like, whenever we are on a big show like this and they put a match that they know the crowd is going to love because they know that something may happen afterwards, that is magic, as was with this. Afterwards, AJ gets 3 code breakers from Y2J. Goes full heel. I started marking out. This is exactly what I wanted. We could be seeing AJ versus Jericho at WrestleMania, as if there are not enough matches already that I want on the show. What do you guys think about this? Y2AJ. It's gone. T-shirt in mouth.
Wow. Yeah, pretty much. But to go back to the match itself for a minute, I kind of realized as of this match, but I think that the most improved wrestler of this year so far, beyond a shadow of a doubt, is Big E. Because I think he was the breakout star of that match, especially in that ending sequence. That was freaking crazy. Amazing. But Big E has gotten so good lately, and I'm a huge fan of it. But yeah, Jericho's heel, that's great, because that probably means Jaredad is going to go away, and good for that. And yeah, it'll probably lead to AJ Styles versus Jericho at Mania, which is cool.
You got to give it to Jericho, is he's not so cut and dry. You know, the heel turn, we mostly all saw it coming, right? But it wasn't inherently obvious that it was just going to happen. And also, you didn't know when it was going to happen.
Exactly.
You know, there was no indication that it was going to, no one thought the team with the t-shirt and everything that was going to, no one thought they were just going to be done that quickly. So it definitely was a great kind of surprise element. And I loved it. I think Jericho needs to be a heel. I think he's been a babyface for quite a number of runs now. So it's definitely time, and it adds a whole new element to the Jericho versus AJ thing, because now it's more personal. It's not just a respect match anymore.
And plus, the way that Jericho turned heel, it wasn't just... I love how he directly related it to the actual crowd in Chicago, where it's like, yeah, they kept cheering AJ, 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 and it wasn't just this whole, I'm jealous of AJ, blah, blah thing over a number of weeks. It was like, okay, you people don't want to support me? Well, screw you. I'm not going to be the good guy for you.
And isn't that great when WWE knows that they're going to have a crowd that is so invested, they can actually pre-plan. This crowd is going to support him so much that when the other guy turns on him, the justification will actually make sense. And I like the fact that he didn't just turn on AJ. He beat the crap out of him. Like, you could feel the intensity. He was tired of this. Because usually we get the whole deal, right? Like, oh, tag team will lose, so one of them will shove the other one. They will go out. Oh, are they done? Are they not? Find out next week. And we get that stalling. But no, Jericho's finally done. Like, this is now the build-up that we can get to a match. And as I mentioned before, this is the new HBK Y2J. We are getting this caliber match, and I'm so looking forward to this so much. Like, I don't know if I'm looking forward to the Hell in a Cell match more than I am this, but they are competing. They're up there.
And one more quick side note: how sick is AJ's springboard reverse DDT when there's no stall
actually
in the middle of it? When he doesn't stall for that 1 second and just goes right down. That is the craziest looking move ever.
Yeah, they actually did change that.
I was also going to say that I had concerns about kind of AJ finding his rhythm. It's safe to say that he's come a long way since debuting, which, I mean, like I said, it was no easy task to just go right into the WWE style. No one's had to do that in a very long time. So it seems like he's in form now. And
they're treating him like a star. Like, number one, Styles Clash. It's barely being utilized. It was used in a match with Jericho. We've seen it with Curtis Axel. That's about it. He's actually finishing some matches with the flying forearm at live events, etc. He's got the calf crusher. It's almost like they're building him different moves, kind of like The Undertaker at WrestleMania, Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania. Like, oh, when is he going to do the Styles Clash? He's not going to do that every single match. So when he pulls that off, you know it's the real deal. I'm just happy right now.
Feels good, man.
Feels really, really, really good. Now, just a quick update on the WWE Hall of Fame. This is something that's gone noticed this year, but it feels like progressively it's more just like, hey, this guy's going in, right? Like, before, there would be just huge teases throughout the show. Now, the latest inductee into the Hall of Fame is going to be the Big Boss Man. I would like to get your thoughts on him. Personally, I think that he is somebody that's definitely fitting, like on the mid-card scene of the Attitude Era, is a guy that's been in WCW, Japan. He's great.
Yeah, I think the Big Boss Man is a great fit for this. Just, he had a very long career. It's not like a prestigious career. Like, he wasn't a multi-time champion or anything big like that. But the Big Boss Man was around for a very long time, and he was very consistent for that time. I mean, just gimmick-wise, he was the Big Boss Man the whole time, minus we don't talk about the Guardian Angel in these parts. No. But yeah, no, I think he more than deserves to be there.
Definitely one of the more supremely talented big men, doing a lot of things you wouldn't expect. And definitely deserves it. And it's been a pretty interesting Hall of Fame this year. And I'm excited to see who's next. I guess the rumors are that Jacqueline, and who was the other one? Do you guys know?
I forget the other one, but yeah, Jacqueline's been rumored. It's Texas, so Jacqueline would make a lot of sense.
The celebrity one might be like Regis Philbin or something.
Hey, I mean, he's been actively involved.
I was thinking about this. Why isn't Pamela Anderson in the celebrity wing? Like, especially with the whole WrestleMania connection and stuff. Seems like a shoo-in.
There's a couple of celebrities that definitely have to be in there sooner or later, but yeah, Big Boss Man.
K-Fed for Hall of Fame, man.
He does have a victory over John Cena, doesn't he?
Remember how we spent months building him up? Like WWE spent months building, like this great match that was going to happen between him and Cena, and like his outfit was ridiculous. He trained nothing apparently, and he
was actually not bad. Legitimately.
I'm not going to do it on this show because I have a little bit of self-respect for myself, but
very little bit.
I'm going through my head and I can still rap almost all of America's Most Hated, or I know the lyrics.
Is that a good thing?
No, it's a terrible thing.
Closing thoughts about Big Boss Man. I know a lot of people talk about him being a great big man, but I think that nobody gives him enough credit for taking a character.
Was he a great big boss man?
Well, that too, but he had a stupid character, let's be honest. He was a cop. It shouldn't have worked. It should have been ridiculous, and it made sense with him. Like, his whole storyline with Al Snow, I get the whole Pepper thing was kind of ridiculous and offensive, but you believed him. He was a heel character that people were like, man, this guy has to be a really bad person.
If you've never seen it, go watch on YouTube the Big Boss Man's promo where he like reads a sympathy card to the Big Show after his father passed. It is the
and the whole
heelish promo in the history of wrestling. It is so dirty. It is so dark. It's so good.
Man, he went really dark places multiple times. I don't think I ever realized that.
Yeah. Big Boss Man's good. Also, I didn't realize up until a few weeks ago that he is not billed from Cobb County, Georgia. I always thought it was Cobb County, Georgia.
Oh.
It's Cobb County, Georgia. Blew my mind.
Today you learned.
The more you know.
Yes, sir. Now, ladies and gentlemen, getting to a couple of announcements. Remember, every week, whenever I can provide them, I do provide some Lucha Underground weekly episode reviews over on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Byte That Cast. Now, a quick update about the channel. You may be seeing some changes because we have the Lucha Underground reviews every now and then. We were like, well, the podcast is almost like a Wednesday video if you really think about it, so it's almost like a lot of clutter at the same time. So we're therefore changing the Thursday videos to a Friday block, and whenever there's a weekend video, that will go up on a Sunday. So that way, you don't feel like you're clogged up, like it's just too much for you. You have time to simply digest that. And speaking of, our first ever Friday video will be an interview, because everybody has been wanting and craving the interviews. And Ryan, you know who I'm going to interview?
Who? Who could
Keith,
it be? Oh.
Do you know Keith?
You know, I have a bit of a hunch, but why don't you tell me?
It's you. I am interviewing
Me?
you.
Me?
You should know this because we already recorded it.
We did?
Yeah, like we talked and things. You even dressed up for that, and like that hair. Oh my God, that hair was amazing.
You mean you're interviewing the Fight Night general manager, Keith Poshik?
Yeah, the M, the Mackenzie in the middle makes a difference. That's how you can tell there's two different characters. But yeah, guys, if you're a fan of Fight Night, and even if you're not, check out my interview with the Fight Night general manager, Keith M. Poshik. If you've never heard of Fight Night, this is very confusing for you right now,
yes.
Probably. But it's a fun time. It's a ridiculous thing. Stay tuned till after the video for some bloopers with some things that happen, because whenever we try to be really serious,
things
doesn't
go
always
wrong.
work out. Yeah, or great.
Or
depending
great,
on how
yeah.
you look at it.
And the views represented in that video are not of my own. They are the views of Fight Night general manager Keith M. Poshik, not of Keith Poshik.
Yes, because Fight Night GM is a terrible human being.
How do you know? Hey.
Okay, now, ladies and gentlemen, you know the deal. It's been a couple weeks. We had a giveaway. It ended this past Sunday. We want to thank everybody, especially Gemmer.com, for providing the sponsored opportunity. Ryan has the coffin. It is in his no, it's not in his hands right now, but he has the 21-1 coffin, DVDs, Undertaker, WrestleMania, and you guys want to find out who won. Guys, I need me some brappadoos when I do the countdown.
I can't do it, man.
Yeah, no,
Okay, so
don't worry.
when-
I'll bear this flag.
Just double
try.
Yeah, Keith, you got a double brappadoo, but yeah, just keep in mind we had no decision when regarding to the winner. Gemmer is actually the one that is responsible. They sent us an email. This is the person that won, and the person that won is Mr. Philly Trustin, all the way from Puerto Rico. We actually had somebody from Puerto Rico win the contest. You guys have no idea how much I have been just messaged like, can I win? Like, there's so many people down here that entered the giveaway, and I'm like, we have no decision making process. Like, stop bugging me with the text messages and everything. So thanks to everybody. We had well over 50 entries, over 80 combined different executions done on the giveaway. We also had a really cool video. We had we showcased some of your guys' favorite collectibles, and we had a fun time enough that we may be going ahead and do that down the line. So if you guys have a Gemmer account, send us a comment on YouTube or email with a link, bytethatcast@gmail.com.
And if you haven't watched that recent video, you can go check out and take a listen to one of the darkest moments in my life I decided to share with the public, and I get sad every time I think about it.
Yeah, it was a dark time for him. Now, I did reach out to Mr. Philly Drustin.
He just like say that in such passive. It was a dark time for him. Anyway.
Yeah. Well,
I barely have him. Feelings. It's okay.
Keith, you know I love you, man.
I love you too.
It's a special time. Keith, Ryan, we love you.
So much real talk, man.
Yes, too much of that. But I actually did reach out to him directly. And apparently he wants me to personally hand it over to him. So if he formally agrees that, Ryan may be sending that to me, and you guys may be treated to a special video of me doing that. So thanks to everybody that entered once again. And now we talk about WrestleMania. And not this year's. We're actually moving away a whole year. We know everything that happened. We can predict the future, at least this one, where WrestleMania 33... they're going back to Florida, but in this time, not Miami. They're going over to Florida. So that is one piece of information.
Wait. You
What?
mean Orlando?
You're going to Orlando.
Okay,
both Miami and Orlando are in Florida.
Yes. So
I'm
that is
Canadian
what I meant
and I
to
know
say.
this.
Yeah. I'm actually the closest one to Florida, so I should have. They're going to Orlando. Okay.
There you go.
That is where they're going. And
Home of the Impact Zone.
Yeah, so pretty close to that. Orlando is a great territory for WWE with NXT, everything they're doing there. Not just that.
Should have went with that one.
Yeah, like this has been a long-standing thing. WWE is finally going to try and build a physical Hall of Fame in restaurant. Now, we've been hearing about this since before the network even became a rumor, right? Like for years, they were gathering all these things to have all of this. So I'd like to get your respective reactions to WrestleMania, and then WWE having basically a new New York type thing. Remember when WWE had the Times Square
WWF New York, the restaurant. No, it's very, very cool. WrestleMania 33 in Orlando is great because Orlando is just a super accessible place for almost anyone to travel to. People travel there all the time for Disney and Universal, so it's not that difficult to make arrangements for that. And the physical Hall of Fame, it's supposed to take the spot of this NBA City restaurant or something that's been closed down.
Yeah, and the Universal City Walk.
Yeah, and it's like outside the park, so you wouldn't have to pay to get into the park to go get to the restaurant, which is really good. And it's a physical Hall of Fame plus a restaurant, so, I mean, much needed for them to have the Hall of Fame. It couldn't really stand on its own. You do need to have some sort of gimmick there. So they can have the merch stand. They can have the restaurant with all your wrestling themed meals and stuff. Like, it'd be a place I would absolutely love to go to. So I really hope that this all comes through, because the WrestleMania in Orlando is very much confirmed, but the physical Hall of Fame thing, as far as I know, is still kind of just on the rumor mill right now.
Mm-hmm. I think it leaves an interesting question of, is the Hall of Fame going to take place there, like the ceremonies every year now? I doubt it, but
I think that's just where they're going to put, you put up the plaques and all the goodies for people to look at, but that won't be big enough. If they want to still hold like the big ass stadium things and sell all the tickets, they still have to do it in one of those like halls.
True enough. But yeah, it seems cool. And like Orlando seems like a cool place for that to be, especially with the performance center and stuff there. So yeah, I'll probably check it out one day, but who knows?
Yeah, here's the crazy thing, right? The three of us, in the 11 years that we've known each other, we've never collectively met each other at the same time. I met Keith. You two almost had a Had a moment where that happened.
Somebody blew me off that day.
I'm sorry, man.
I'm never going to let that go.
Yeah, no, I've met Ryan. No, I've met Ryan twice now. When he went to Puerto Rico for my wedding, and then when I went to Boston, actually. But now it's like, it's so accessible, right? The possibility of something happening. Now, obviously, we can't confirm anything because WrestleMania is a huge expense still. I mean, we're talking about thousands of dollars.
And man, the Canadian dollar sucks right now. Ooh.
Yeah, so I would love to know, like, does this raise the interest of a lot of people? I know some people went like, really? Florida again? As Ryan mentioned, easily accessible. So let's see what happens there. Now, just a quick tidbit before we go to the Roadblock predictions. This week in WWE history. Every now and then I take a year or something that happened around this week in time in wrestling. We go back to March 10th, 2003. I was going to say 2013. Remove a 1. 3 things happened this show. Just for a quick, let's do like a lightning round thing. First off, we had Vitamin C, the team of Christian and Chris Jericho, defeat Kane and RVD, 2 tag teams that maybe some don't remember. But we watched a lot of wrestling around this time. What'd you guys think about them?
Holy crap, I forgot they called themselves that. Like
Vitamin C.
Did they even, was that like a thing?
Yeah, no, it totally was.
Like it sounded vaguely familiar. I was like, oh, I know that team name, but what the heck is it called?
Yeah.
Now you
totally
know.
threw me off. Yeah.
Yeah, no, Vitamin C was cool. They are something that history just forgot. Like, when talking about, like, funny moments, who talks about the ass cream anymore? Nobody.
Well, Jericho brings it up every now and then. I mean, that
I guess
that was
so.
a segment that if anybody has no idea what we're talking about when we reference ass cream, go on YouTube. Don't go on Google and search this. Like, go on YouTube.
What? Even be real careful about that search.
Make sure you type WW before that, because otherwise the results may not be what you look for. Now, next up, Triple H defeated Maven. Maven, guys. Amazing theme and dropkick, right?
Yeah, I mean, you know, when he eliminated The Undertaker from the Royal Rumble that one time, that was a moment.
So this is obviously way further after Survivor Series, because there was like Survivor Series 2004,
yeah, there was that
2005, where Triple H, like Maven went for the title after he could be GM for a night, and that was actually like a pretty cool Raw when Maven was GM.
Yeah.
But obviously this is like way before that.
Yeah, now I'm kind of curious how many other Triple H versus Maven matches exist, because this didn't even know this one happened.
Awesome theme. Now, the main event for this Raw was the Hurricane versus The Rock. He defeated The Rock in a no DQ match. Now, more than just this match, I personally love this mini rivalry. One of the few we've ever gotten. If you think about it, like, here comes this big name to WWE back once again, The Rock. And he has a feud with the Hurricane.
I think that this is honestly one of the most underrated feuds of all time. It was great, especially the promos going back and forth between The Rock and the Hurricane. And how crazy was it that the Hurricane beat The Rock?
Yeah.
No, I remember after seeing this, like, this is a Raw, if you could tell me, like, moments in 2003 that I remember, there probably wouldn't be too many, but this would absolutely be one of them, because it was just such a shocking thing. Like, you totally didn't expect it. You enjoyed all the promos while they were, and you're like, oh, the Hurricane has no chance. But the fact that he actually snuck in a win was amazing.
Yeah, the Scorpion King got a tiny ding-a-ling. I remember that. I would used to record Raws back then in VHS tape. Man, VHS tapes. Holy crap. And I replayed those segments over and over. Like the Rock concerts. Man, Hollywood Rock was just perfect. He was the perfect wrestling character. So if you guys agree or disagree, or let us know if you've never seen any of these, and this sort of intrigues you to go back. We love to read what you guys think about that. Now, without further ado, let's get to our WWE Roadblock predictions. This show will be happening this Saturday, not Sunday. It is at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, so keep that in mind when you're about to tune in. Now, also keep in mind that this is almost a house show type event because when we go down these matches, they're going to seem a little bit weird. The first match is
like
actually
Beast in the East.
Yeah, the first match is actually an NXT Tag Team Championship match. The Revival, aka Dash and Dawson, defend their titles against Colin Cassidy and Enzo Amore. Keith, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Bada boom. Realist prediction in the room right here. So this is what I was alluding to earlier, where I think that Enzo and Cass are going to pick up the win, and then Dash and Dawson are going right up to the main roster, and they're going to be that team. They're going to be that big tag team that feels like that's missing right now. Because I think there is a perfect place for them as far as like their style and personality goes on the main roster right now, especially in the tag team division, because Enzo and Cass, while they are awesome, what they have to offer just completely gets eclipsed by the New Day. Like, all they will be is kind of like a side piece to the New Day at best if they were to go up right now. But Dash and Dawson are just so different that I really think it would work.
Well, I'm actually going the complete opposite route of Keith here, although the point with the New Day does make a lot of sense. I think Colin Cassidy and Enzo are not going to win because I think they have planned to call them up soon. They've been doing some SmackDown house shows, like doing dark matches on SmackDown here and there. So I think they've been kind of groomed to be called up eventually. And so I think that's coming probably after WrestleMania. So I don't expect them to win the tag titles.
Yeah, I agree with Ryan. I think the feud post-Mania will be the New Day versus Enzo and Cass, because the idea of Xavier and Enzo cutting back-to-back promos is pretty awesome. So basically, Golden Truth is just filler until we get this. Now, up next, we have Sheamus versus Roman Reigns. Now, this match is not confirmed officially. Like, WWE has not stated this on their show, but it is being built up for this event. So now keep in mind, card subject to change because this is like a house show and this is a super random match. But yeah, Keith, Ryan, myself.
You want to just do this one real quick?
Sheamus is not what?
Roman Reigns.
Yeah. I don't think this match is going to actually happen, but if Sheamus wins, I'll eat a hat.
Oh, please win. Please win. Yeah,
cleanly.
Cleanly.
It could be a DQ finish. It's a house show type thing, so does it really matter on the road to WrestleMania? Yeah, Reigns is going to win this. Now.
If it happens, because I don't believe it.
But we have that prediction regardless. Now, a match that is confirmed to be happening is Brock Lesnar versus Bray Wyatt. Ryan, how's Brock Lesnar winning?
He's going to win with an F5, probably, I would assume.
Good call.
There'll be some suplexes in there, and Bray Wyatt has no chance unless it just ends with the Wyatt family interfering, and there's a DQ finish. That's also very likely.
The Wyatt family will interfere. Brock will destroy all of them. He will crush Bray Wyatt, just crush him so badly, and then move on to WrestleMania.
I'm assuming the real thing they're building up here is an F5 to Braun Strowman. Like, I'm assuming this is the whole point of this match, to get that move across.
Yes.
Now, main event time, WWE World Heavyweight Championship match. Really looking forward to this prediction. Triple H defends against Dean Ambrose.
I am really looking forward to this match. I've come to the realization that I actually get very excited whenever Triple H is wrestling these days. Like, he had a great match with Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania 30. The Sting match was what it was. It was exciting for different reasons, but I love Triple H wrestling, and I honestly think he is the best seller on the roster right now.
He really
is. Just, like, he took that dirty deeds like he got shot in the head. It was crazy. But that being said, Triple H wins.
Dean Ambrose, he's on fire right now, so maybe they'll protect him and not have him just lose straight up cleanly.
It won't be clean. It won't be a clean win, but Triple H will win.
Yeah, I don't think there's any reason to put the title on Ambrose right now, and I think it's actually better that he doesn't win, and there's more of a build-up for him winning that first championship. I think, you got to really get people to just want it. And when it happens, people are going to go nuts. So now is not the time. Now is, the whole Brock Lesnar thing is really where we want to go. But this will be a fun match nonetheless.
I know who you guys think I'm going to pick. I'm usually the one that does the crazy pick. And I'm going to go with Triple H. But I kind of feel like Dean Ambrose is going to win because I'm picking this.
Shut up.
Yeah.
See, and I'm kind of disappointed that you're going with Triple H, because here I was ready for an argument, and then now you just
I can
shut
totally
me down.
make the argument. That's the thing. But, okay, here's the thing. Roman Reigns has become so irrelevant that unless he was heel at WrestleMania, and not by crowd reaction, but his character, I don't see the reasoning behind Dean Ambrose being champion. Like, I can't see anything. And because I can't see that, I just got to go with Triple H.
Mm-hmm. And plus, if Dean Ambrose wins and faces Roman Reigns, that means we don't get Dean Ambrose and Brock Lesnar, and that's a travesty.
Exactly. And honestly, I don't care about any match involving Roman Reigns right now. It's just, his character is just, he's been gone for about 3 weeks.
It's crazy how the show, he has not been missed at all. On Raw.
It's actually been better. It's been so kind of nice.
Exactly. So the way I see it is, you know what? If Roman Reigns has to face anybody, I'd rather it be Triple H. Triple H doesn't wrestle often. He always has a great match. So just throw that to him. Versus Ambrose, it's like we can see Reigns versus Ambrose at any point during a Raw, during whatever. I'd rather see Ambrose versus Lesnar. So honestly, the reason I don't want him to win is because I want him to have a memorable match at WrestleMania.
There are bigger fish to fry here.
Agreed.
Yeah. So ladies and gentlemen, that has been it for our WWE Roadblock predictions. Depending on our availability, we may provide a review before the show next week, before the next podcast. Regardless, we will probably be tweeting at some point, and maybe eating pizza if Ryan's tongue allows him to do so. Do you think it will by Saturday?
I really hope so, man. This has been rough, dude. You can only eat so much yogurt pudding and all this BS. It's
you
terrible,
love pizza.
Man. I love my pizza, all right?
I'm going to have some pizza on Friday.
I love my
Saturday,
Cheez-Its, and I love my pizza, and I can't eat either of them right now, and I've been very sad.
Have you ever put Cheez-Its on a pizza? I wonder what that's like.
I don't think it would be very good. I think you get enough cheese on the pizza.
Either.
Yeah, don't go overboard. But gang, it is now time to bring up your questions at the conclusion of every podcast we do so. And we love to do this. It is our time to get random questions, funny questions, serious questions. And if you want to send them, do so by bytethatcast at gmail.com or on Twitter, bytethatcast with the hashtag AskBT. Now I leave you with Mr. Keith.
Yes, leave them with me. All of them.
The windows are open, Keith. People can see.
Oh, they are? Okay, well, let me take care of that quick by asking the first question. Almost said answering there, but we'll be doing that in a moment. But our first question comes from Vic Ash, who asks, which wrestler in the WWE or NXT has the best moveset? He says Sami Zayn.
Currently? We're limiting this to 2016?
Yes, let's say on the current WWE and NXT roster. And if you want to make it a two-parter, make it a two-parter.
Yeah, because there are different answers. One of them has to be Sami Zayn. Whenever he does the Blue Thunder Bomb, it's not even just the moves, but the way he delivers them, it feels like a video game come to life. And because the
Blue
easy
Thunder
answer,
Bomb is like a work of art.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It really is beautiful. So that's maybe, I guess, my NXT answer, although it's maybe main roster. Now, main roster, I don't know. I would have to say Seth Rollins is up there.
Yeah. I don't know. For me, it's one answer. And it's a simple thing of it ain't about quantity, it's about quality, baby. And that's Brock Lesnar. He doesn't do a lot, but everything he does just looks so crazy, so impactful. It's the best. There's nothing that comes even close to what Brock does in the ring.
As far as just flashy moves, obviously Sami Zayn for NXT for me, and Neville definitely gets some credit for the main roster. all of his moves are always very crisp, and I mean, I love the red arrow. He hasn't been put in the greatest programs, but if we're just going by moveset, I love Neville's moveset.
Actually, I'm changing my main roster answer. Sasha Banks.
Yeah.
Kevin Owens is another one I like, too. He's got a lot of cool moves, like the fisherman suplex off the top rope, the power bomb, the moonsaults, the cannonball.
But nobody comes close to Brock Lesnar.
You
Hard
love your
stop.
Lesnar.
Well,
oh God, so good.
He's got he doesn't do a ton of moves, but what he does amazingly. He used to do a lot more.
Exactly, and that's what I love about it. It's not like, oh, he does all of this fancy stuff, but everything Brock does is just so graceful, and it looks inhuman.
When Scott Steiner did nothing but suplexes or whatever, he got people hated on him. But when Brock Lesnar does it, people love him.
Let's put it this way. Brock Lesnar, the man can do a shooting star press, but he doesn't need to.
Exactly. And
that sounds like something in one of those like Dos Equis commercials.
He does a shooting star press, but he doesn't need to. He is Brock Lesnar, the most intimidating man in the world. But thank you for the question. Our next one comes in from Philly the Kid. Philly the Kid here, asking, how far do you think they're willing to go with the whole Dean Ambrose as champion tease? Will he win it and have somewhat of a decent reign, or is he just going to play second fiddle to whoever the WWE champion is? Are they foolish for not capitalizing on his popularity and going with him as a champ? Also, will Finn Balor turn heel soon? He's been using his lifting DDT as a finisher recently and looks to be phasing out the coup de grace. It's a dangerous move and could be banned. Thanks for getting me over as much as you do on your podcast throughout my multiple gimmicks. You guys are always great at making your fans look good. Yay us.
We gotta make Philly the Kid look strong,
Exactly. You're our Roman. My cousin.
Okay. All right, I'll actually answer the question. I think they're doing a great job of building Ambrose. When they want to put him at the top of the card, he excels. And unfortunately, though, if they don't give him a lot to do, he does kind of fall by the wayside. But right now, Ambrose is in a great place. I like them teasing him as champion, but like I said, the whole Brock Lesnar match is the perfect thing for Ambrose right now. It's better than winning the title. For the long term, I think it is better than winning the title, and you can save it down the line. I think he will be a champion someday. It's just not right now.
Oh my God, I just realized something by you saying that. Dean Ambrose is getting the push that Dolph Ziggler was supposed to have, but never got. Because listen to your answer. The guy can always be a top guy. Like, it's all these things I would say from Ziggler, but Dean Ambrose can be the top guy. And he has shown that for the past couple of weeks. So, is the whole thing is just playing second fiddle to whoever the champion is? That's always been the case right now, and I think that will be until after WrestleMania. And I know this is always the cheap way to go out. Oh, until after WrestleMania, and then that's the feat that's going to be happening. Could be said about anything, but I really do think that's going to be it.
I think that's a completely legit way to look at it, because WrestleMania, it's the big payoff for the year, right? So things happen. If you're going to pick an event to do a before and after of, WrestleMania is the best event of the year to really do that with. But yeah, I don't think that they're making a mistake by doing this whole Dean Ambrose tease. I think it's good. It keeps people happy instead of just letting the Roman Reigns fire rise for the next couple of weeks. But I do also think that that whole second fiddle thing is a good place for Dean Ambrose right now, because eventually you at least hope that you'll get that payoff where he's like, hey, I'm tired of being second fiddle. I'm going to do whatever I need to do to get that title for myself, whether that be turn on Roman or whatever it may be at the time. I think it works.
Regarding Finn Balor, I don't think he's going to necessarily turn heel, Because honestly, I don't really know what Finn Balor is right now. I'll be honest, I'm not a huge fan of his character. I think his wrestling is getting better. I love the fact that he's finally getting rid of the coup de grace, which is the flying double stomp as a finisher, because I've hated that.
Yeah,
I think it's a crappy finisher for especially a champion. Like if you're like a cruiserweight champion or something, cool. But the whole Bloody Sunday, which is basically a DDT/brainbuster, that's a great move. And I love that they're now transitioning to that. I think Finn Balor is going to be a topic of discussion for many things this year. Many things, and especially in the main roster.
Agreed. Anything to add, Ryan?
I'm a terrible person who doesn't watch enough NXT, so I will not weigh in.
That's what I was looking for. So thank you for the question.
Wow. You say it, didn't you? You wanted me to say it.
Absolutely. So our next question, I'm going to direct it towards Juan because now I have to join the Terrible Person Club and know
thank you.
Nothing about this one. It comes from USC Punk, who asks, do you like the lack of knowledge of backstage events from the commentators in Lucha Underground?
Okay, so for those that don't know, Lucha Underground is a wrestling program on the El Rey Network. It is pretty much a TV show, the format.
And now on iTunes.
Yeah, and now it's available on iTunes, both seasons, so please support it. It is easily one of my favorite things. Now, what does USC Punk, what is he referencing? Whenever something happens backstage, the premise is that the commentators have no knowledge. Here's an example. One of the characters is Cortez Castro. He is one of the henchmen for Chavo Guerrero. Now, there's a backstage segment revealing that he's actually an undercover cop. And one of his teammates is Joey Ryan. So we know that as the viewer, but on the show, nobody knows that. Like the commentators, because what we've seen is like another scene, like when a movie, you know, oh, this is the bad guy, but the good guy doesn't know about it yet. So like you watch the whole show knowing right off the bat, that guy, he's actually a good guy. Like, what is his motive? And I love that we get that because we never see that in wrestling. Like whenever we see backstage segment, it's like, well, shouldn't a wrestler know what's happening because they probably watch the show, so they have an idea of what's happening? Here, they can actually experiment with that. Like, what if nobody in the audience knows? And here's the crazy thing about Lucha Underground. They tape all the matches and then all the segments. I actually have some information for some of the wrestlers that work in there because like some of them are from Puerto Rico. And the cool thing is like the temple, the audience and the crowd, they don't know who's face or heel for the most part because they just see the matches happen and the backstage segments are produced afterwards. So like there can be two completely different stories happening, and that's really hard to tell on TV. Because like the crowd has no idea what just happened. That's a really good way to
go about it. I like that. You know, The more I hear about it, the more I hate the fact that I haven't really taken the plunge yet on Lucha Underground. It sounds like the best thing ever.
Yeah, now they have a special show happening in about 2.5 weeks, Aztec Warfare. They had that in the first season. Honestly, Lucha Underground is like, it is the best wrestling in 1 hour than even NXT. Like, I love NXT, but Lucha Underground is so different and refreshing. And there's a reason that despite the fact that sometimes I work really like a long distance on a Wednesday, I will still provide a review at the end. I just love the show that much that I want others to not just hear the review, but want to watch the show because of it.
Now that's dedication, baby. But thank you for the question. Our next one comes from Mark, who asks, if Mick Foley...
Keith, read out his Twitter handle.
No. If Mick Foley, Shawn Michaels, and Stone Cold attend WrestleMania 32, what would you want them to do, and why?
Well, B30F58C08914447. Let's see. All of them are completely retired from wrestling, so maybe they could do a cool promo, especially like Austin doing a promo with somebody, like interacting with Dean Ambrose or someone who they seem is, who's very relatable, who they can be like, oh, this kind of like what they did with Michaels and Rollins, where he was talking about the whole, oh, you're the next Shawn Michaels, the second coming of Shawn Michaels, and then Michaels was telling him, you're not the second, you don't want to be the second coming of anything. You want to be your own thing. So I would say some sort of promo segment like that. Austin, as much as I'd love to see him drop a stunner on someone, I don't think he'd do it unless he could actually do a match with them.
Mick Foley, not gonna lie, nothing. I just don't really see like what Mick Foley can contribute at this point.
He can dress up as Santa Claus.
Yeah, so let's just wait for December for that.
In April.
Yeah, Christmas in July. That can come pretty soon, I guess. Shawn Michaels, honestly, not much too, because Shawn Michaels is a great promo when he can like have the physical involvement, like in a match or something.
Yeah.
Remove
Will he
that.
find a way to get involved in Triple H's match?
I was just about to say, like, I am counting my blessings on this one, but I'm so happy they have not gone to the HBK well in this Triple H.
Keith, we still have a ways to go before Mania.
I hope I. Oh my God! I hope I didn't jinx it.
I hope you're right too, and that like, they don't do it. And Stone Cold. Yeah, he should have a backstage segment with Roman Reigns. Like, if it is Triple H and Roman Reigns, and just be straight up. I know people are not huge fans of you. He convinced McMahon the CM Punk chants on Raw. Like, Vince McMahon shut them up on the spot. Stone Cold can do that at WrestleMania. Like, just be open. People are going to boo you. People are not going to cheer you. Whatever. There's a night after. And I think if Roman Reigns just goes like, yeah, and goes into the match like a total badass because of that, just a little 30 to 1 minute segment can go a long way.
But you know how that backstage promo would go. He would be like, now before I start talking to Roman, I want to tell y'all about BarkBox and what it did for Hershey the Wonder Dog. I
joke. Roman Spears Hershey, no? Okay.
Oh my God. That's so wrong. It's just so wrong. But that being said, of those three, the only person that I would really want to see at WrestleMania is Stone Cold Steve Austin. What? But just like maybe have him have a segment kind of the same way that like Triple H, Stephanie, Ronda Rousey, and The Rock had their little segment last year. Maybe involve Stone Cold in something like that. I don't know what that would be beyond Stone Cold, but do something along those lines. And I think that'd be pretty cool. A nice little cool down segment at WrestleMania. So thank you for the question. Our next one comes in from Jack, who asks, who's the best character you've ever used in a wrestling game?
I feel like I need to Keith this and say Brock Lesnar in Here Comes the Pain.
Oh my God, it was so good.
Great.
Well,
just, so good, yeah.
Here's my answer. SmackDown vs. Raw 2006, Spike Dudley. I used to do a thing called the Spike Dudley headbutt challenge, and that was because
sucker.
Yes, the Spike Dudley headbutt was an unblockable move. You could not reverse it. So what I would do is I would just keep headbutting. Like, I'd play one of these guys, and I'd just keep spamming the headbutt to see if they could ever break out of the chain of just continuous headbutts. And it was pretty funny. And yeah, that move was super OP.
Ryan is that guy.
He sure is. But yeah, I have to go with Juan on this one. And Brock Lesnar. When Brock Lesnar was like still the next big thing and there was still that huge mystique, the concept of playing Brock Lesnar in a video game was very exciting. And while he was in the
Shut Your
Mouth, it was he really hit a stride. Here Comes the Pain, and they had that crazy F5 where he basically threw the guy halfway across the
Shannon Moore
ring.
version.
Yeah, and that's up there. I'm surprised you didn't say Steven Richards, Ryan, and Here Comes the Pain.
No. Although Goldberg was pretty awesome, and Here Comes the Pain too.
Yeah, Here Comes the Pain was a great game. One might call it one of the greatest wrestling video games of all time.
Should be like in a top 10 or something,
right? Maybe they could find that top 10 at youtube.com/ByteThatCast. Who knows?
We're just as bad as WWE.
Indeed. But we don't cost $9.99, baby. So thank you for the question. Our next one comes from Daniel Day, who asks, hey guys, hello. How would you book a Bray Wyatt face turn? And I'm just going to hijack this one for a second and say I wouldn't. Bray Wyatt should never turn face.
I would. Because they've talked about Down with the Machine and all that. And for a long time, there was conspiracy theories when they talked about that they were going to rebel and try and take down the Authority. I would like to see that actually happen, where they totally are about taking down the machine. They want to destroy the establishment of WWE, and they're just kind of like this unlikely band of like heroes, sort of, even though they still stick to their weird ways, but you like them because they're beating up the people you don't like, and they're pretty good at it. Except right now they're not very good at it, so I would make them good at it.
Chaotic neutral at best.
I'm honestly with Keith on this. I wouldn't want to see it. To put it this way, like, I actually just shut down Raw during the main event and watched the YouTube highlights afterwards. Like, whenever Bray Wyatt's on my screen at this point, I just don't care. I just do not care. Like, maybe shave the beard, have like a change the gimmick on a pole match or something. But Bray Wyatt as a character right now is so stained. He's been so damaged that he feels like he feels like a parody of what a great character should be, of himself. He's a parody of himself.
I think Bray Wyatt is too good of a character for the WWE, where has the potential to be so strong that they have no idea what to do with him.
Put it this way, okay, like, anybody that hasn't watched Lucha Underground, Mil Muertes is the Lucha Underground champion. He is way better than Bray Wyatt will ever be, because Mil Muertes is basically a zombie. Like, his name is 1,000 Deaths, like, translated to English, and like, that is actually his character. Like, the whole premise is like, yeah, this guy is he's pretty much like invincible, and he's great.
God, Lucha Underground sounds so good. I didn't know about that. That's amazing.
Aerostar is a wrestler that can legitimately fly to different planets, and his name is Aerostar.
Man, it just sounds like everything I want in life. Everything.
You can watch it.
I can. Available on iTunes and the El Rey Network.
Let's just keep going.
All right, so thank you for the question. Our next one comes in from Kyle K, who says, "Hey, I have a question. What is the worst match stipulations you guys have ever watched, excluding WCW?" That's an important asterisk right there.
Easy answer.
Yeah, they say that the Punjabi prison match is up there, but the diaper match with X-Pac was also pretty bad.
Wait,
I don't remember this diaper match.
I was going to say, can someone refresh me on the diaper match?
I am not aware. And I'm not looking up X-Pac diaper.
Kennel from Hell. Kennel from Hell. The cage match with the Hell in a Cell over it, with dogs shitting on the floor on the outside. And I think it was, what was it, Al Snow and Boss Man? Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. The dogs were supposed to be intimidating, and they were not. And it was a total disaster, and they never did anything like it again. So there you go. That's on the WWE Hall of Shame list for match stipulations.
Here's one. Any divas wrestling on a pool or pudding or whatever the hell.
Playboy evening gown.
Yeah. Okay, basically any divas match, like any specialty divas match from like 2000, I don't know, like 2001 to like 2007, they were all pretty bad and offensive in the context of like, you know, like you want gender equality and all this, but you make them look like, I don't want to say the word here, but you know, like hoes.
Hashtag White Knight won.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think of something that just sticks out in my mind that's like, oh, that's a borderline offensive. The Punjabi prison match is definitely up there. The evening gown match is definitely up there. Evening gown match, especially like the Howard Finkel versus Harvey Whippleman evening gown match. That was up there with bad.
5-star classic.
That is a 5-star classic in its purest form. Yeah. I don't know. The Till Death Do Us Part match is up there with the winner getting to marry Lita.
What about blindfold matches?
Blindfold matches get a bad rap because there is a way to do that right. Go watch the Jake the Snake Roberts versus Rick Martel match from WrestleMania.
True.
Whichever WrestleMania it was. Jake the Snake had the ability to just take that crowd and just put them in the palm of his hand just so well. He actually made that match work. So I think evening gown matches, blindfold matches.
Blind ear, I almost heard.
It was the only thing that took you out of it was very obvious he could see where he was going. You know, you could see that he could see through it.
But hey, guess what? Wrestling is dumb. I don't know. I can't really think of any others.
Keith, how about this? You have homework for next week. Think about that and bring it back.
I will report back. All right. So for now, thank you for the question. Our next one comes in from Travis Hayes, who asks, do you guys like Baron Corbin? I, for one, love him and think he has really good potential to be a top heel in the company, and the End of Days is a solid flowing move.
Now, Ryan is excluded from this question, basically.
You've seen
some
Baron Corbin, all right?
He's changed dramatically in the past.
I know. From what I've seen, he's come a long way, and he's a lot different than where he started. He's improving. Do I love him? I'm not crazy about him, but I actually think he has improved a lot.
He's got something special about him, but his expressions, I think, are not the best, although his work right now with Austin Aries, Regal, and himself, that triangle that's happening right now, he's going to have a match with Aries at Dallas. I think that's going to be pretty awesome, and I like his personality in here when he beat Austin Aries up on last week's NXT.
Mm-hmm. Baron Corbin is one of the most improved wrestlers in NXT history, coming from where he started with the whole... Remember his feud with Bull Dempsey and how terrible that was? Going from there to here is... It's so dramatic. It's crazy. But that being said, I still don't like Baron Corbin. He's very good at that one thing that he has gotten very good at doing. But if you go beyond that, he's not very good. And that's about my thoughts on Baron Corbin. I think he'll be a giant flop when he eventually gets the call up.
Poor guy.
Yeah. Bold predictions.
Sometimes the truth hurts. But thank you for the question. Our final question of the show comes from Terrence J., who asks... That was rough. There have been rumors that Jeff Hardy will return to the WWE this year. With that being said, do you guys think he will return at WrestleMania? And will he win the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal?
Well, as far as I've read, he seems to have signed a new contract with TNA or something like that. So I don't know how real those rumors are. And honestly, with the roster that they have and the roster they have coming in from other places and NXT, I just don't see any scenario where either one of the Hardys can either draw ratings or just a great match that they can't already have with the talent they have.
Yeah, I don't think WWE needs Jeff Hardy, and Jeff Hardy pretty much he did a lot in WWE. I don't think he needs to be there, and he can just keep having his career in TNA. I think that's fine. Like Juan said, there's so much talent on the roster that I don't think there's any need to bring him in, especially because he's already had a legit successful run in WWE, you know?
Exactly. And I'm going to go into full heel Keith mode here for a second, but I hope Jeff Hardy signed that TNA deal because I do not think he should ever come back to the WWE. I do not want to see him back in the WWE. Let Jeff Hardy do his thing over there. His time has come and gone.
What did he do to you?
I don't like Jeff Hardy.
We can tell.
I like how matter of fact you are, though. It's refreshing, actually.
Mm-hmm. I just, there's something about him. Like, yes, he's had some great moments. He's had some great matches. He had a good run, but his time has come and gone. He took his chance. He blew it, and he shouldn't get another one. And that is how
I love it, Bagel. You know,
wow.
Oftentimes I don't think we give firm enough answers, and that is like the firmest answer in Byte That history.
Yeah. I've got strong feelings. I
tip my hat to you, sir.
Got strong feelings towards Jeff.
Hey, nothing else that we can really say about that. We want to thank you guys once again for sending them emails. Remember, the Gemmer sponsor giveaway winner is Fili Tustrin. It is does not roll off the tongue as easily as it should. And for everything else, ladies and gentlemen, Ryan McNulty.
How does it roll off that numb tongue?
Probably not do the intro.
No, I'll do it, man.
Okay,
whatever.
Okay.
All right.
Do baby steps. We're here with you.
If I had any type of like lisp this episode, give me a break, man. I got like 3 freaking teeth out. I had a surgery a couple days ago, so don't make fun of me, please. Anyway, thank you guys for listening, watching, whatever, another edition of the Byte That Podcast. Before we go to our YouTube channel and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. YouTube.com/Byte That Cast. We got Juan doing Lucha Underground reviews. We've got the Fight Night GM on interview this Friday. And of course, we'll have a weekend video coming around on Sunday. You can check out our social media at Byte That Cast on Twitter, Facebook. You can go to /Byte That Cast. We're on Instagram. We're on Wrestling Amino. For everything else, you can go to ByteThat.com. We got Roadblock coming up this Saturday, so we'll be giving our thoughts on that very, very soon on next week's podcast. And WrestleMania is coming up. Oh my God, we're gonna get excited. Oh my God, it's so amazing. Okay. Thank you guys for listening. We'll see you next week.
Bye.